Awesome. Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to another episode of Talk of All Trades. It's actually our first episode of 2024. We're so delighted you could join us. I am your co-host, Thomas Esteta, accompanied by the show's founder, Cody Stevens.
Come on, we're co-founders.
Co-founders, that's cool. Thank you. Appreciate that. And our man behind the scenes, our producer, Mr. Mikey J. We are joined today by Dwight Yarotsky.
Yep.
Thank you very much. Dwight Yarotsky hails to us from Cleveland, Ohio. He mentioned that is the birthplace of rock and roll. We must not ever forget. But now he resides in Houston, Texas. He is an independent filmmaker who moonlights as a corporate communications guy. So, anyways, again, thank you for joining us today. We're delighted to have you on and to talk with you about what it is that you do, man.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So let's start off with just a few quick questions, I guess. So we'll do like an origin story, if that's cool. Right?
Sure,
a quick origin story on Dwight Yarotsky.
All right.
So you did say you were from Cleveland, Ohio. That's where you were born and raised?
It was just outside of Cleveland, but about an hour outside of Cleveland.
Oh, hour outside of Cleveland.
Yeah, but yep. Moved down here in 2009.
2009?
It's about 15 years now.
Okay. And this is going to be your permanent residence? How do you find Houston?
Hot.
After 15 years. Hot. But not enough to drive you back home to Cleveland, bro. Hey, it's cold in Cleveland, dog.
It's not hot right now. It's kind of nice.
Well, this past summer I almost jetted, you know.
Oh, dude.
I don't blame you. It was brutal.
It was
107,
really
heat index of like 120.
It's bad. It can be bad. It can be bad, no doubt. But something's keeping you here in Houston.
Yeah, I mean, I met my wife down here. And
Nice.
She's grew up around here. And
Right on.
A lot of wonderful people that, Cody, yourself.
Yeah.
Some people in the Houston film world. So,
Okay.
there's a lot of people that, there's a lot of reasons to stay. And, it's not so bad right now, like you said.
Yeah.
So,
It's a land of opportunity.
yeah.
Dude, no doubt, man, no doubt. And you mentioned your wife. I wanted to say, like we said earlier, we did some Facebook sleuthing on you and seen that you just recently got married in December. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Right? Join the club.
Hey, yeah, I know, right? Yeah, we're all married here. Yeah. So,
Sorry, ladies.
I know, right? Oh, dude, I know, man. You're off the market, bro.
They
Come
missed
on,
out. They
man.
missed their chance.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Right on. So, talking about some of your independent films, the first one, actually, Cody sent us all a link that we got a chance to kind of peep at for a little bit. Overdose, Death of a Punk Rocker. Right, and this is through your Lo2No Productions,
Right.
Yeah. That's the name of your productions studio. So how you want to talk us a little bit about, I guess maybe the concept of the movie, or maybe just how does one even create a movie? You know what I mean? That it seems like a huge undertaking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was crazy. I think that we did Overdose about 10 years ago, and I think the reason why we were able to get it done is because we didn't know what we were doing. And I think if we had known what we were doing, we'd say, well, we can't do it that way. That's
right.
That's wrong. That's like we did everything wrong, but it somehow worked.
Yeah.
I was told by some people that were like, you just can't make a movie. Just go out and make a movie. And I said, well, okay, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
You told me I couldn't, so I'm gonna try it. And,
right on.
We ended up I didn't have any real goal in mind except for just to make it.
Okay.
Like I wasn't like, this movie's gonna put me on the map. This movie's gonna go places. I just want to say I made a movie.
Sure.
And I guess in retrospect, that's probably why the movie sometimes people think it's a very odd, random, unfocused movie in some ways.
Yeah.
And that's okay, because I wasn't really thinking, what can I do to make a perfect film? I was just like, what can I do to make a film?
Yeah.
And so it was a lot of fun, but because a lot of us were new to the world of filmmaking, we just had a lot of fun trying to figure out how to make it work. And ultimately, I don't think that it's hard to go back and watch it 10 years later.
Sure.
But the time that we had on set was really rewarding, and I always just remember that, and I have a positive memories because of it.
Yeah.
So,
right on, man. Right on. It's so funny listening to that, like all the parallels that line up with filmmaking, independent filmmaking, and local music, right? like creating local music, being in a band. It's very similar.
Making your first album.
Very.
The the demo stage, or
Sure.
and then I mean some of the music writing, it's like going back and listening to it. Something that's 10 years old, 15 years old, 20 years old, you're kind of cringe, like, ugh. But it's out there.
yeah. Good, bad, or indifferent. And I would say good, for good. You know what I mean? Like, if you're an artist, if you're someone who has to create, and if filmmaking is your medium, if music is your medium, whatever it is, you kind of owe it to yourself, really, to do it. You know what I mean? If that bug is in you, you need to go ahead and be fearless with it. And I like that you didn't let any of those people kind of told you, you can't just go out and make a film. You're like, okay, I want to do this. You must be you must like film, though. Like, I mean, are you a film fan? You must like movies, to want to go make a movie.
Yeah, I was made fun of when I was young. This is going to sound weird because it's like, I don't even understand it now, but
okay.
I had an HBO shirt when I was a child.
Okay.
And people made fun of me. Like, human body odor.
Yeah.
Kids, And then none of them had HBO. Like, what is this? Because they're like, it's not
cable TV.
It's a cable TV or something.
Yeah.
But I would be watching all the movies on HBO.
Sure, sure.
Like, I don't know. So I would be just looking at them and how they did it and seeing the behind the scenes. And it was really just fascinating to me. I think a lot of that started with my mom exposing me to horror films. And she would be like, we were at a young age, and I'd go, Mom, oh my God, I'm so scared that, my sister's Cabbage Patch doll is going to come alive and kill me.
Right.
And she's like, that's not real. And I'm like, okay. And she would explain how they did like certain effects. And sometimes she was dead wrong, but like it was still not an incorrect way to do it.
Sure.
And like having that, like the magic behind the curtain be revealed is just such a real fascinating, eye-opening thing. Because I'm like, you walk into a room, and now I walk into a room and I go, sure, this is a living room, but in certain circumstances, it could be a hospital room.
Yeah.
If you just put a little bit of set dressing here, a little bit of that there, and just evaluating how you view a space. Even it was really fascinating. So
I peeped that about you when you first came into this house. You were like you saw our setup, and you're like, hey man, I'm this looks like a cool thing for like a DJ scene I'm doing in my next movie, which is Death Bike, right?
Death Bike.
Okay, we'll talk about that here shortly. But I was like, you see the artist, it never stops, man. It's constantly looking and viewing things in a different perspective, and I think that's what's so awesome. I think that's what artists have to offer to the world, is just their perspective. You know what I mean? Yeah. So again, you make a movie. Is it Oscar worthy? Does it have the greatest cinematography? And this, that, and the other. If you're someone who is truly a fan of film or truly a fan of art in general, you'll see past all of that and just see the perspective. I think that's trying to be conveyed. Right. You know what I mean? And I respect that. Could you talk to us about what the inspiration was for your first feature film, Overdose: Death of a Punk Rocker?
Yeah, Overdose: Death of a Punk Rocker. It was a long time ago that I wrote the outline for that. It was probably about 2010. I was working at Guitar Center with Cody.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of the inspiration came from the characters that we ran into at Guitar Center, for sure. Nice. As far as like when you see certain people, you're like, oh, there's a parallel. And but it was a couple years before that, I think. Heath Ledger had died, and it was an overdose. And I thought to myself, wouldn't it be something if someone had overdosed, but they were at the peak of their career, and it wasn't an overdose? I mean, maybe I watched too much Columbo, you know what I mean? But that's when they're going, it could really be advantageous to somebody to make it look like someone had overdosed, especially if they're at the height of the popularity, because they could make a lot of money off of, I guess, exploiting that.
I mean, heck, even like, suicides, there's a lot of controversy around certain artists and their, alleged suicides at, opportune times or peaks of their career. Kurt
Cobain. That was a big one. And he was mentioned in the movie as well. Yeah. Like, it just gets you to wonder, like Bradley Noel. And you just, but he didn't have a suicide, but it was another overdose that was at the peak of his career. Yeah. And so I don't think, I wasn't like really believing that was the case, but I said anything's possible. So I played around with the idea, and while I came up with that idea, I also wanted to have a lot of characters and experiences that I experienced having been in a band and having worked in a music store. And so that's really where the inspiration came from that film.
Cool.
Yeah.
There certainly were a lot of characters. I mean, I was kind of like a fly on the wall, really, at Guitar Center.
Yeah.
You know, I would go in there from time to time, but, you know, it was mostly just to kick it with Cody, man. And I recognized some of these characters that you were talking about, man. And the music scene, the local music scene, Houston music scene. And then even you want to get more specific to the location, the southeast side.
Clear Lake
the
music
Clear
scene.
Lake
Yeah.
Houston music scene,
Yeah.
exactly. Because that's a lot different than inside the Loop music scene. It really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
And, you know, downtown. Yeah.
Right,
North side even.
Exactly.
Getting people to recognize it's more than just Blue October as a start.
Yeah, you know what, and that's, and you know, I want to say I appreciate that, dude. It's actually really cool to have Houston, you know, highlighted, obviously seen it in a lot of different media, filmmakers out there, you know, to highlight such a wonderful city as Houston. But then, like I said, more specifically, our side of town, man, the southeast Clear Lake, you know, side of town. That's really cool to see that out there. A couple of scenes, I saw Cellar Bar.
Oh yeah,
you know, I was like, oh, dude, I remember hanging out. There was like that. We used to call it like me and my friends. I forget what we called it. But it was like a little shuffle, dude, because it was Molly's Pub, it was Cellar Bar, and then there was Third Base, and you could just do like a little shuffle there, just go to bar.
Well, you know, it's funny about Molly's. I don't know if it's true now, but at the time, they owned Cellar Bar, and I went to Cellar Bar to ask if we could film there. And on the day that we needed to film, we didn't have enough people over there. So I figured, and the money's going to the same place ultimately anyways, so I didn't figure that there was anything wrong with this. I went over to Molly's Bar and just started talking to all the people that were there and said, hey, you all want some free beer, you know? If you do, come with me to Cellar Bar, and I'll get you around, and you just have to appear in the movie.
Yeah.
And so I took all these people from Molly's and put them over there, and they were mad. Like there was like the bartender.
Oh, Molly's was mad.
Bartenders were mad because
Yeah.
they're missing on the tips.
Yeah.
But the person who yelled at me was the cellar bartender, like, because like they're mad at me,
Right.
and I had nothing to do with this.
Fits on it in. Thinking it was all planned. Like,
Got it.
Molly people over here.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But I saw that scene. That was a cool scene. I was wondering where you got all these people from.
Yeah.
You know,
just popped over to Molly's.
There it is. That's it.
Some movie magic.
Dude, too cool. I would have did it for a free round. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Hang on. Put this one down and close out. I'll be back. Actually, we'll be back. Yeah. I never really went to Cellar Bar that much.
Me neither,
but Molly's and Third Base for sure. Did a little shuffle.
Do you know
there.
if they have any correlation with the Cellar Bar in like Dallas, Fort Worth area? Because
Nah, no clue.
No clue.
I mean,
Cellar Bar was a bit of an old man's bar. I don't know if you
Yeah,
noticed.
yeah.
Like, there's people that claimed their stools. You can't sit here, son. I'm like, all right.
like, my name was etched in the tree that made this stool.
Hey, man. Give it to them, dog. Give it to them. Some people are real particular about their bar, their home bar, so to speak.
But they had billiards. Now that was a key part of the movie.
Yeah.
You'd have billiards. So.
Yeah.
And Molly's didn't have billiards. I would have shot at Molly's if they had billiards. But,
Yeah. Yeah, not to go on a tangent, but yeah, the Cellar Bar was like a huge pinnacle in like my father and mother's like lives, and like my dad has a whole documentary on the Cellar Bar in like Dallas Fort Worth.
Fort Worth.
Oh, really?
one, Yeah.
Okay, that's
It's
interesting.
Like a huge place, like where they would like it's blues. It's a blues bar,
okay.
but yeah,
Cool.
I think it's even like spelt the same, has the same font and everything. If I'm not
I
mistaken.
wonder if it is the same then.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I have no idea though.
Yeah.
No.
But quick, I guess going back, how did you get into filmmaking? Like, what was your kind of motivation to become a filmmaker?
Well, I used to watch a lot of HBO when I was a kid, watch a lot of the movies on that. But really, after I studied video production in college, I just really wanted to make my own movie. And I think a lot of people that go through that program, that's their ultimate dream,
Yeah.
And I was told, you can't do it. You're not going to be able to do it. So I wanted to just show people that it can be done. I was watching Hot Fuzz. You remember that movie?
Yeah.
And Edgar Wright was doing an interview, and a lot of directors have said something similar, but he's just like, whether you have the money to do it, whether you have the people to do it, just do it anyways. Just start making movies. Get the experience. If your first movie is not good, most people's first movies are not good. But you can't be a filmmaker if you're going to just look for perfection your first time out. And I thought it was pretty inspirational, though. You know, like you just got to go out and you just have to do it, if for nothing else, just to get your foot in the door and say you did it. It's like the first time, I know you made the musician comparison.
Right.
The first time you recorded, you know, a demo or an album or whatever, you could like, I have a recording of my band. It existed. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like years from now, 20 years, 30 years from now, you can say, let me pull out the old MP3, and people are like, what's an MP3? Like whatever it is now, you know.
Sure.
What's the cassette tape?
Right? Yeah. Here it is, and you're like, wow, that was cool. That was you on the that was you on the vocals, or that was you on the guitar, and,
right?
And just having that kind of snapshot in time, and what you did and your art, and it was just really a cool thing for me. I mean, my parents. When they watched Overdose, neither one of them particularly liked it.
Yeah,
but they're like, my dad's like, it was well done. But, you know, the story wasn't my thing. It's like, well, they weren't really punk rock fans. Right. My mom did like Columbo, so but
now, who's Columbo? I'm not familiar with
Columbo.
Columbo.
Like that's why I always laugh about Overdose, because it's like the Venn diagram that exists between it. It's like me and two other people, and that's Columbo fans and punk rock fans.
Yeah.
And in the middle, there's that. Columbo's this like 1970s detective,
right?
Okay.
Who had like a trench coat and he had a cigar, and he'd walk around. He's like, just one more thing, and he'd always say just one more thing and try to like interview his
like a Dick Tracy kind of.
Yeah, not too dissimilar, but like it was an inverted format. So instead of a whodunit, it was a how catch 'em. So you'd see the killer, and you'd see him do all the bad stuff in the beginning of the episode, and then you'd watch Columbo work it out, and then it was really neat to see him put all the pieces together.
Gotcha.
But you know, it's like a lot of Matlock people, like people that watch Matlock would watch Columbo or Quincy M.E. I'm sitting there going, it's definitely before my time, but I still liked it because it's just it was a good mystery, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
And so Overdose is really just a punk rock murder mystery. Mm-hmm. It was just basically the two mixed together.
Right on.
So
it sounds like you derived your inspiration just from just your love of film.
Yeah.
You know, growing up.
Right.
You go into college, you take radio and communications, is it? Or video?
Radio TV production.
Radio TV production, right? And so now you're like, you're consciously made the decision that, okay, I like this.
Right.
I want to learn how this.
How to do it. Yeah, exactly.
and then you, I guess while you're there, of course, you build up enough knowledge and confidence to say, let's go do this.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm curious about the equipment you used. Was a lot of that, were you able to get a lot of that maybe say at Guitar Center, or do you remember like what you specifically went out to go film on? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just curious about that.
So, I mean, there's also... That's an interesting question. Lo2No kind of started off as an ethos, and it was very much punk rock derived. So there's a lot of DIY attitude, and like I think our slogan right now is Lo2No pretense, Lo2No hassle, Lo2No compromise.
Got it.
And so the whole idea was, a lot of times when I'll see people and they're on set, they'll have this camera and this cage and this rig that looks like huge, bigger than your torso.
Right.
And I'm like, you're who are you trying to impress?
Yeah.
What does that bar do? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and so a lot of it, I think, is just to make people feel like you're on a big movie set. And I'm like, that's so
interesting.
So pretentious, you know?
Okay.
And I wanted to do things a little differently. I didn't want. It's a bummer if you're on an actor on set, because you're like, well, this is kind of low key. But I also, want to keep it low key, because I want it to be a thing that's like, you can do this. You don't need the most expensive or whatever huge amount of equipment to get it done. Some of that stuff did come from Guitar Center, but a lot of it was not video production equipment. On Overdose, we used microphone stands, a lot of them, and we used Chinese paper lanterns. To like use the lights instead of these diffusion panels.
Yeah,
these are a lot nicer. And we would use these big Chinese, like we got them like World Market, and then we'd tie them up on there like with twist ties.
Yeah,
they'd constantly be falling, and then we'd constantly be gluing them back together.
Wow, dude,
and it was so crazy, and it looked pretty decent for the time period. But and of course, the older you get, and the more you are able to invest in your equipment, of course, you can benefit from an improved quality, but also an improved experience. So
Sure.
now, it's a lot easier to use these type of lights instead of having to constantly glue Chinese paper lantern balls.
Right.
But that's what the whole ethos was. It's like you work with what you have to get it done, and next time, if you can afford to, improve your equipment, but be smart about it. Spend it where it actually is going to make a difference and benefit the production, or be stupid about it and try to impress people.
I get that, man. I mean, freaking Apple on their commercials, they tout that you could basically film a whole movie. I guess if you use their cinematic.
And there have been people that have made full movies on an iPhone, independent films. Now, it's not necessarily the aesthetic that most people want, but it can be done. And if that's the budget you have, it's better than not having anything at all
and not doing it, right?
Exactly.
So like the gentleman that you first mentioned that said, just go out there and do it.
Do it, yeah.
Be a filmmaker. If you're gonna be a filmmaker, be a filmmaker.
Right.
I was just sitting here talking about it.
Right.
Be about it. I like
That's
that.
right. Yeah, because what's worse than a bad movie is a movie that doesn't exist.
Yeah, no movie.
Yeah,
no movie.
Yeah.
No movie.
Yeah.
Cool. So what did y'all film it on though? I am curious.
On the Overdose.
Overdose. Yeah. What was the actual camera?
That was a Panasonic GH2. Because it was 2012.
Yeah.
So it was a Micro Four Thirds. I think earlier we were talking about Blackmagic's Micro Four Thirds. Blackmagic is one of the companies that's kind of keeping that format alive with their cinema cameras.
Okay.
But it was a similar sensor size, like the same sensor size, but circa 2012. So
Digital camera?
Yep. Yeah, it's a mirrorless, interchangeable lens camera.
I see
Okay.
it. Is this look about right?
Yeah. It could only do 1080 was the max that it could do.
Nice.
But it was, 11 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I shot on that system for a while, actually. I think I had a GH4 all the way up to about 2 years ago. And, now I'm on the Sony system, but
Yeah. So what's the camera? What's the camera of choice now?
so we have a couple of Sony A7 IVs that we use, and
Those are pretty good.
yeah, they're really nice.
You know what he's talking about?
Well, I just remember I looked at them, I think, when I was looking at, camera upgrades for us.
Yeah. These look like actual camera like photographer cameras.
Yeah.
But you can video on these as
Yeah.
well.
So if you take a look at the A7 IV and you compare it to the FX3, which they made the Creator on an $80 million budget using the FX3, and it's a very similar camera. And you can look at the differences. But it's it's less expensive for the A7 IV, and the quality is about the same.
Yeah.
In some instances, I'd argue better, but in most cases, about the same.
Yeah.
But a lot of this stuff comes down to the guts versus the ergonomics on the outside.
Okay.
So they'll take Sony, all the companies will do this. They'll take the same sensor and put it in 10 different cameras, and they have 10 different prices because they have different button layouts or they have different,
Dude.
And if you know that,
Well, that's good. Yeah.
you can say I'm not paying $4,000 for a $2,500 camera,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever the price may be.
Yeah, yeah.
You can save yourself money where it counts. But then some people really like the ergonomics and they say, I don't care. That's worth the extra amount to me because I'm used to being able to flip this switch here instead of touch the screen here. So,
Okay, well, I guess so.
Yeah, I learned that. Okay, so I'll tell you where that all came from. In 2000, it's probably 2008, 2009, a lot of people were shooting on the Canon 7D or the Canon 5D Mark II. And an episode of House was all shot on the Canon 5D Mark II.
How's that medical show?
Yeah.
Okay.
And those look just like that camera that you're talking about. But in 2008, it looks just like that, an interchangeable lens photograph camera. And they were just getting really great results out of it. And when I started seeing that, once you got used to the form factor, not being the shoulder-mounted video,
Right.
Yeah, you get amazing footage out of it. And yeah, it was just a matter of switching, your idea of menus and navigation and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But,
And are you just holding the camera just right here, or is there any kind of device that just kind of helps it from shaking and wobbling?
I've seen those.
I it's fairly inexpensive. Is Cam Caddy makes one. I had a Cowboy Studio one. So it's like a plastic molded shoulder mount that's really comfortable on your shoulder. And then right now I have it rigged up to a gimbal, which is horizontally inclined, so you get super stable footage. Now, you don't need to have the gimbal because that's really probably extra. But on the same shoulder mount that I used on Overdose, I'm using on Death Bike.
Right.
I think the big difference, I just added the gimbal for additional stability.
Stability, yeah. And that makes sense. You don't
Gimbals are
want
cool.
shakiness.
They're all gyroscopic and like it just stays
Yeah.
horizontally aligned, basically.
Unless you're trying to do the
Yeah.
Blair Witch aesthetic.
Yeah, if you
Found
wanted to do
footage
that.
stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Oh my god! Looking at the face, snot running down. What was that movie?
Blair Witch.
Blair Witch.
No, but the one that parodied it. It was like scary movie.
Yeah, it was probably some one of them
One
scary
or two or
movies.
something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, it was gross.
Yeah, and a lot of Death Bikes got a lot of motion because it's a bicycle. So I mean, you want the stability. So.
Wait a second. This is okay. Yeah. So we were talking about Death Bike. We might as well move into
Sure,
it. This is the second feature film for you.
Oh yeah,
Right. And we're still working on it now, right?
Yeah, I'm really excited about this.
Okay,
film.
cool,
I mean,
cool.
I feel like like I was saying before, you go back and watch some of your stuff, and it's a little hard to watch now. But
Okay,
like this
okay.
one, I feel like there's so much effort has went into making the script so good. It's like such a great script, and I wasn't the only one who wrote it. And a lot of great creative and artistic people are on board, and super talented actors from actually all around the country are actually
not
involved.
just Houston?
Not just Houston. Well,
Nice.
the best of Houston, but then
Sure.
and then some.
That's awesome.
And so it's a wild movie. Like my entire goal when we wrote the script is I wanted people, and everyone, this has been pretty consistently the reaction, to say what the hell every 5 minutes. Like, what the hell did I just read? What the hell did I just read?
Look, it just keeps going.
And so I wanted that, and I think that it's a wild ride. There's stuff in this
Yeah.
movie that I think it's going to be very difficult to pull off, very ambitious. But again, like I was saying before, tell me I can't do it.
Right.
Do it.
I'll tell you, you can't do it.
All right, there you go. I'm
Okay,
going to do it
good,
now.
good. I just want just so you could do it. All right.
Thank you.
That's what I was here for.
Hey, by the way, you can't do it.
No, it'll be done.
It'll be
It's
done.
already done now.
Oh,
It is. Are you now
No,
post?
I'm kidding.
Oh, okay.
It's already done. Just
Well,
consider it done.
Well, and I wanted to mention too. I wanted to ask you about this too. So, okay, obviously you have the equipment that you're going to capture, you're going to film on. You know, the camera aspect, the audio aspect. I don't know if we talked about the audio too much, but
Yeah, we haven't. But you want to?
well, I guess we might as well. Let's talk about it because it's all going to come together. What I was going to say is I feel like, again, with music, a lot of the magic happens in the editing.
Yeah.
And in that phase,
In the post.
in the post, as we say, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah, we got lots of microphones. Like we'll have the overhead boom. That's pretty standard.
Right.
We got I think it's the Video Mic NTG.
okay,
The road?
Yep. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we have a DJI mic for some that will have lavaliers hooked onto, so you can get 24-bit audio there.
okay.
And then
On the actual actor itself.
yeah, and then you'll have there's 2 of those per unit, and then I have an Anchor Work, which is a knockoff of the DJI mic. It's
Yeah.
the same thing but a different brand.
Yeah.
And so I'll have a mic at minimum 4 lavalier mics on the actors and
Right.
a boom overhead.
Right.
So we'll be pretty set.
Nice.
For audio on
4
set.
per actor?
No, 4 actors.
Okay.
And will each have their own microphone.
Gotcha. I was
Which
like,
those are obviously hidden.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, okay, yeah.
But it's really good to be redundant as you can be with audio, because I've had to do a lot of ADR, which is additional dialogue recording in the past, and it's cumbersome. There's a lot of tedium that goes into that.
Yeah, I
So,
bet.
Yeah.
I bet. I can't imagine. If you had to do that additional dialogue, right? When you get that file back, now you got to kind of like splice it. I
Right,
guess
sync it up,
Sync
yeah.
it up. Yeah, right into where it goes in the
So-
film.
Yeah, my process, and I don't know if it's, I imagine it's similar to a lot of people's processes, but I don't know because we did it ourselves. I'd bring an actor in, and we'd use the same mic that we had on set, and I would loop the video.
Okay.
And so they'd be able to hear the bad audio.
Sure.
And basically speak in unison. And it would take them a few times.
Okay, yeah.
And then whenever they did speak in unison, it was just simply cutting that and dropping that in the sync.
Okay, got it.
It was
got
actually it was pretty straightforward actually.
Okay, yeah, no. That makes sense because obviously the sound needs to match up with their mouth movements.
Uh-huh.
Otherwise, we're talking bad Chinese dub film, right?
Yeah, yeah. Unless you're doing like a lot of kung fu, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
So,
right on.
Yeah.
Right on. No, what's funny again? Before we started the podcast, we talked about a story where you had to do, guy needed to do some additional dialogue, recordings, and he was doing it. I guess he decided he was going to do it at his house somewhere.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so very much like this with the microphone set up, he starts doing the studio voice.
Oh, it was so funny. He's like, that gun was a gift from my late mother. And I'm like, dude, no. Like, it doesn't quite work. You know?
Right. I remember when you were telling me that sounded funny because you can't. I guess you can't help it when you have these studio mics here and you're hearing yourself with the headphones. You can't help but do the whole.
Yeah, you have that sweet dulcet tone.
Yes. You know what I mean? And it's like, dude, nobody talks like that.
No. So, all right, I'll tell you a funny
unless you're Batman.
So I'll tell you a funny story about doing some ADR for Overdose. Now, Overdose had a lot of like skeevy, like punk rock characters in it.
Sure.
It's par for the course for the movie, right?
Absolutely.
So they were pretty crass, and a lot of stuff you wouldn't want your grandma to actually hear necessarily, right?
Right.
So we go to like probably the smallest hotel room I've ever been in. It's like a historic San Antonio hotel.
Okay.
And the room's probably like 10 feet by, 16. I don't know. It's tiny.
Yeah.
And we set up the computer, and back then I had a big old CRT, so it wasn't even like a
flat screen.
Oh,
good Lord! Yeah,
and like I had the Snarf. He's in there, and like the character Christian Thorne, who's one of the co-writers of Death Bike, he gets in there and he's like, "I'm telling you guys, if you stick a tube of vodka up your ass, you'll get drunk instantaneously." I got, do it again. We didn't get it. So he starts repeating this line, and I swear at one point there's a break, and we hear some people walk by in the hall, and they go, and like, "Oh my God, did you hear that?"
Yeah.
Because we were like 3 feet from the door.
Sure, of course.
And I'm like, so it was funny. I mean, we had a lot of fun on that set, though.
Dude, yeah.
Memories were pretty amazing, to be honest. Like,
you can tell, man.
Yeah.
I can tell by you recounting the stories, the way that you could just see it, as you're telling it to me. The Chinese lantern and all that, might have been a pain in the ass, but clearly left a lasting impression for you. Core memory activated,
Oh, you get used to doing it a certain way.
Yeah.
And it takes knowing the benefits of what the alternative is before you actually change sometimes. So there's good and there's bad about like, use what you have, but don't ignore the advancements.
Of course.
Because like there are some really, and that's the thing about like why I'm really excited about this film is because we have a lot of good people and good equipment and good things in place that
that can really make
it's going to knock it out. So we're not like spending like so much time on set that we don't get the movie done. We want to get the movie done. So
yeah.
I'm really, really excited about what
That's good. That's good, man. And that post editing process, right? So you've got your camera, you've got your audio. How does that typically work? Is there a software that you'll use?
Yeah,
it's not. I'm sure it's not going to be iMovie, right?
We use Premiere, Adobe Premiere.
Okay,
and Audition for the audio, Adobe Audition, like the Adobe Suite, basically.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
if you need like some visual effects, we might use some After Effects, but it's all the Adobe Suite. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I noticed there was some special effects in Overdose, especially during like it was kind of like I guess the acid trip scene.
Oh yeah.
What y'all use for that?
Which was the melting scene?
There was like a meat car thing.
Oh, the meat car, yeah. Oh yeah, the baloney car. That's all practical. Yeah, we used I bought an RC car.
Yeah.
And covered it with pink Play-Doh.
Yeah.
And then we would actually film the RC car on a green screen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then it was just not filmed, it was photographed.
Oh, okay.
360 on the green screen.
Yeah.
And then I animated the wheels and then animated its motion.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
That was really a lot of fun though.
Yeah.
And then
I remember that scene.
Yeah, we tried to do the bologna hands.
The bologna. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. It was the meat hands.
That was potted meat.
Okay.
So which smells really nasty.
Yeah.
But we went to the store and bought the meat in a can.
Yeah.
And then we just covered the hands with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he had taken some like Robitussin or
Yeah.
something.
Cough syrup.
Too much cough syrup. Yeah.
Turned his fingers into potted meat.
Basically, Robo
awesome.
Trip.
Yeah.
But then there was that, I guess, melty scene where it was everything was kind of melting.
Yeah, we had someone who had went to school for 3D art and was really good at like making little sculptures. They had made a little 3D bust out of plasticine, and plasticine is cool because it'll melt under heat guns. And so once we did that, we melted under heat gun. The hardest part was, since it was just a piece of art, we had to like warp the image so it would fit the actual shoulders and the head and the placement.
Yeah.
But once you did that cut, it looked really cool.
Yeah. Nice.
So
Very cool.
yeah, that was a lot of fun. Yeah.
That's cool, man. That you had mentioned earlier the people that you have, your team that's helping you with Death Bike.
Right.
I imagine you've cultivated these relationships and this networking just throughout the years of doing your independent filming in Houston.
Right.
Right. Is there anybody in particular that stands out to you and your team? That's somebody that's really kind of helping champion this film and champion making sure that it
Well, on the
succeeds.
On the crew side of things, we have Jason W. Chang, who's producing, and he's been really helpful at helping us get things together as far as like set locations, contract stuff.
Okay.
Those type of things that are kind of like really important to have in place to make sure things go off without a hitch.
Sure, of course.
And then we also have our first assistant director, which is Ramon Castaneda, and he's really doing a great job helping with location scouting and coming up with different shot types and angles, and coming up also with some ideas of how we could pull off some of these shots that are a little bit more difficult.
Right.
We kind of all three come together on that. But the fun thing about Ramon is I was his audio video teacher when he was in high school.
Okay.
So I'm proud of him, not just because I get to work with him.
Sure.
And see what he's done outside of my class, but I'm also like, I helped a little bit.
Yeah. No, right on.
It's cool,
So you were a teacher, audio video teacher at some point in time?
Yeah, I taught audio video for 6 years.
6 years?
Yeah.
Are we allowed to say where? Or?
It was in Southeast Houston.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll leave it.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah,
Okay.
at that.
No, that's
Yeah,
cool. That's
yeah.
cool. But obviously left a lasting impression, at least on one student, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's taken it far.
Yeah, he's all about working on films. He's been working on several films throughout the Houston area and beyond just Houston as well.
Okay.
But yeah, when he saw that we were doing this movie, he really wanted to be a part of it, and
Nice.
I thought that was really, really cool. And
Yeah.
I was happy to reconnect with them.
Sure.
And just this last week, we went out to that gas station to take some scouting photos that we had posted on Facebook recently, and I was like, yeah, we'll do this shot, we'll do that shot. And he's like, what if we do? And like he was just like weighing in on these. Like, oh, that's really great. That's it's a brilliant suggestion, actually.
No
like
doubt.
this is really cool. So it's been really awesome to work with him and Jason to really make this movie happen. Other people that have been need to really give a shout out to is Joe Grasafi, who is playing one of our leads in the movie, and I've known him for a long time, and he's always been very supportive of the work I've done and pretty much Houston film in general. So yeah, I kind of count all those people as very critical for this movie to be
Right
pulled
on.
off. Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, and that's not to say anything against anybody else I didn't mention. Please,
No, of course not.
anyone else listening?
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
They're all
yeah.
very valuable too.
Speaking of which, we're up to 11 viewers, live viewers right
great.
now. So shout out to
Sweet.
all 11 of you. If anyone wants to chime in, we do have a chat box open. So Mike and Jay's filled in all the questions. So
Absolutely.
please feel free to chime in if anyone else has any additional questions for Dwight.
Yeah, and just remember, our guest is Dwight Yarotsky. He is an independent filmmaker in Houston, in the Houston area. He has done Overdose, Death of a Punk Rocker, and is currently working on Death Bike. A lot of death.
Yeah. I was joking, if it doesn't have death in the title, I don't think I can work.
You don't
on
want it, man. He doesn't want nothing to do with it.
What's the next one going to be? You have any ideas for a third movie yet?
I'm sure death will be in there.
Yes.
No, but
Just death.
so if we say our 11 viewers who are listening, and anyone else, if they want to follow along and see updates and things of that nature, concerning Death Bike, where would they do that, or who do they need to follow social wise or anything like that?
Well, we really do a great job at updating our Facebook group more than anything else, but it's kind of hard to actually share a URL audibly about that. So if you go to linktree.com/deathbike, I think it's there.
We'll post all the links into the description.
Yeah.
On our YouTube.
No doubt.
So,
and Mikey J's already looking it up now. So it's linktree.com backslash. Forward slash.
It's either Death Bike or Death Bike Movie. I think it's Death Bike.
/ Death Bike.
And if it's not Death Bike, it's Death Bike Movie. And that has links to our Instagram and our Facebook, our Indiegogo.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect, man.
Yeah.
That's perfect. That's got them all. That's the whole link tree, right?
That's it, yeah.
Yeah. I get it, man. Because honestly, there's some socials I'm just going to refuse to get, and it's not because of any sort of socio-political thing. It's just I just don't have time for tick, man. I've already got Snap, Instagram, Facebook. Like, I'm done. Dude, I don't want to have to update nothing else. No. And actually Snapchat's getting ready to take a back seat, man. I'm about to kick that to the curb, dude. So, but if you're doing stuff like any kind of media, or whether it be film or music or anything, you got to go where the people are, and the people are on the interwebs, man. They're on Snapchat, they're on TikTok, they're on Instagram, they're on Facebook, they're on Twitch, they're on everything you can think of. You know what I'm saying? So there it is. Cool. Death Bike official group. If you guys can see it on the cast.
Yeah, we I had talked to somebody recently. Actually, they were talking about getting off of social media, and it's like, I mean, I understood why, but it's like, I can't afford to do that. I'm making a movie.
Yeah,
right. We need to keep people informed, so I can't just jump ship off of social media.
No, yeah. And I get it on a personal note, right?
Exactly.
I totally get trying to shed that, man. And I don't know, man. That's an interesting topic. Everyone can just discover for themselves. Again, whether we like it or not, social media is here. It's here to stay. I don't think it's going anywhere. And I think it would just be. Like any and all media, you should consume it, I guess, in a way that would be conducive to your overall well-being. You know what I'm saying?
You got to be conscious of the effects that it's having on you. Because you just don't want to become like lifelessly scrolling scrolling your life away.
No, absolutely.
So, yeah. But it is interesting because there are some people that's exactly what they do, and if you don't respond to a comment or a message or something in a fast enough manner, they're like mad.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
yeah. And I think that's when you probably need to take that person and go, you have a problem. You need to get help.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's cool though, because like I said, with the things that we do independently, and the local talent that we have in Houston, if you're in this scene, if you're in the movie scene, the independent filmmaking scene, you're gonna want to check out these people's the groups, links, and everything else to stay in the know and to support one another. And do you find that there's a lot of support in the independent film network here in Houston, or is there maybe some cattiness? I don't know. I imagine so.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely going to be cattiness.
Yeah.
I guess wherever you go.
Sure.
What I've noticed about, I think the horror stuff, which was interesting to me, because Overdose wasn't a horror movie, but Death Bike is. I think there seems to be a lot more supportiveness in that community. So I was at the Houston Horror Film Festival back in August, and most people there are just really there to support each other and have each other's back. And it's like they have this camaraderie through their shared genre. Yeah. And so it becomes a little bit more special than just, we're all here to make films. We're all here to make horror films.
Yeah, and so, you're trauma bonded.
Yeah, exactly.
No doubt.
Yeah, probably. But so that was that's been really an interesting thing that I've experienced. It's been nice, to see people come from all around the country. Yeah. Hey, I made this horror movie in Wisconsin. Can I be in your movie? And I go, Sure.
Sure, yeah.
We'll have cheese on set.
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah. Make them feel at home. Make them feel at home. That's
Make
awesome.
sure cheese is on the rider.
Yeah. Dude, that's cool. That's cool. How accommodating of you. Yeah. No, that's awesome. Yeah, it almost reminds. I'm sorry. Forgive me if I keep doing this, but I just can't help it. I see so many parallels. I feel like the Houston metal scene was that way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of metal artists seem, for the most part, to have been very supportive of one another.
Plus, there's a lot of parallels between like metal and horror.
Horror, exactly. You can kind of see how they kind of go.
They love gruesome things,
Sure.
dark things,
Absolutely.
somewhat evil things.
Dark and twisted inside. Yeah.
Shout out to Venom.
Venom, another character, another Guitar Center character.
Yeah.
Y'all should speak about him for a second. Who's got some?
Alwitch, which I noticed was part of the soundtrack to Overdose.
Yeah.
So what song was it? That
Can't
he
remember the
did
name
or
of the
he
song
played.
now.
No,
It's been so long.
yeah, I remember seeing it in the credits, and I wasn't even aware until the credits that he was a part of it, and I saw Alwitch.
Oh yeah, he was really cool. He provided the space for Nathan Gale's apartment. In the movie. So that was Alwitch's practice space.
Nice.
So
Right.
you see all the Iron Maiden posters on the wall. And then if he had this prop called Lucy,
yeah.
she is in the movie.
That was it, yeah.
So yeah, it was really cool, and yeah, he was a character. I haven't seen him in so long, but
Yeah, he moved to Colorado.
Is he in the movie at all?
Nah, I don't think so.
Is anyone based on him in the movie?
No,
Not particularly.
No, not direct. No, I don't think so. So a lot of the characters are kind of amalgamations of people, though.
Yeah.
So there might have been like maybe like dashes of him and some other characters,
Sure.
but nobody directly related or directly based on him.
Yeah, okay, I got you. There are some crazy characters in the local music scene, that's for sure, man. Mm-hmm. I love it, man. I miss it a lot, kind of, because since we've kind of stopped doing our thing, at least playing as much as we have in the past. You find yourself removed, and that's it. I think the other day I went to Scout and I was looking at the people, and I was like, there used to be a time I'd come in here and I knew everyone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, man, how much time has changed, But it's cool though. Again, I'm very supportive of anything that comes out of the Houston area, music, movies, anything like that. I will be honest though, I have to admit, I didn't know much about the Houston independent film groups. You know what I mean? I really haven't, and so I'm really glad that we've gotten a moment to talk about this because now I'm interested. Now I want to see what other not just what you have going on, but what other filmmakers out there have got going on as well.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mentioned earlier Joe Grasaffi's name.
Uh-huh.
If you really want a good start on Houston film, go to his IMDb page. And
Okay.
He's been in a lot of other stuff beyond just Houston films, but if there's a Houston film that's been made in the past, I would say probably 15 years.
Uh-huh.
He's more than likely
He's got a hand
on
in
the
it.
cast. Or in
Come
the cast
on.
somewhere, yeah.
What's his name again?
Joe Grasaffi.
Joe Grasaffi.
Yeah.
Where's our Jamie? Oh, he's back there.
Yeah.
Mikey J, our Jamie.
Yeah.
Mikey J, you definitely got to look him up when you get a chance. I'm sorry, this light is bugging. This keeps falling. But Joe, I'll have to get you to spell his last name for me.
It's Grisaffi.
I heard that. Grisaffi.
Right.
Got it. Joe Grasaffi. You can find him on IMDb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, we got to check this guy out. Cool.
Yeah. So he's very, and he's also
Is that the dude?
runs Southwest Casting, which is one of the largest casting agencies in Houston.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, and his movie Laughing Boy was fantastic. So
Was it?
Lars the Emo Kid? Both of them were really good.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
great. And these are films we can watch now.
Exactly,
I'm
yeah.
sure if we
Yep.
wanted to.
And they were both in Houston. I actually was at the one of the screenings of Lars the Emo Kid. It was a great movie.
Okay. Yeah, look at those ratings. 7 point something. I mean, I like anyone else, right? You kind of want to look at the ratings to kind of get an idea. That's a pretty decent rating on IMDb.
Yeah. It's great stuff, man.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that because I
problem.
definitely want to. Like I said, I'm interested. My interest has been piqued. I want to check it out. So
Yeah, I mean,
I'll be looking into him.
That's one of the things that motivates me to make movies in Houston is to shine a light on the people that are here, that are local talent that sometimes gets a little bit overlooked for bigger cities and
Sure.
and other locations. But we got a lot of great talented people that are here.
It's a big city.
Yeah, it's a big city.
Come on, man.
Bound to have some nice.
Fourth largest dog.
Yeah.
We need some respect around here. Houston,
Put some respect on it.
I'm telling you right now, dog. And this is again, separate from what we've been talking about, but in general, and I'm a long, born and raised in the Houston area, right? Houston, Texas, man. And I've just noticed it just seems this way. I'm sure it can't just be me, but this city doesn't really get a whole lot of credit, you know what I mean, for what it does, as far as, talented individuals.
It's true.
And all the different forms of art, sports. I mean, just whatever, man.
Except for the Stros.
Well, I could speak on the film thing. Is,
Okay.
One of the reasons is the incentives aren't as good. So I believe Austin has better filming incentives.
Oh, okay.
So tax credits and that kind of stuff.
Purposes.
Yeah.
Oh.
So a lot of people will go over to there to film instead of Houston.
Right,
And
right.
there is a concerted effort on a lot of people in Houston to try to change that.
Cool.
But right now it just hasn't happened yet. We
Sure.
just don't have a lot of. It's becoming more and more film friendly, but it still has a long ways to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe you can shed some light on this rumor, but I heard recently that they're trying, I don't know who they are, but they're trying to turn Houston or Austin or maybe just Texas in general into the next Hollywood.
Yeah. So especially in the Austin area and in San Marcos.
Yeah.
San Marcos, I think I was reading is going to have a $25 million Hollywood style backlot. That's just what that warehouses where they shoot.
Right.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah.
And again, with the incentives in that area, I don't know when that's going to happen. I've been hearing about that for a few years now.
Really?
I had talked about going out to San Marcos just for that backlot because it's such a cool.
They have the
place.
real estate for it.
Yeah. And I thought I actually really quite like that town.
Yeah.
It's a
Absolutely.
cool college town. And
Yeah.
you can snorkel the river.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. But yeah, so I mean, there's definitely more of a shift. And honestly, I think that that's probably taking more place out there than it is here.
Yeah.
But I hope that changes. I hope that people start to.
Man, if that happens out there, dude, that'll be it. That'll probably solidify that area as the filmmaking capital of Texas, at least. You know what I mean?
Filmmaking, music capital / electric
Whatever.
car, Tesla Gigafactory.
Man, and that's fine.
It'll be where it goes.
Yeah,
where to live. Of course, property values go through the roof. And
Sure.
Shoot, I mean,
Yeah,
can
it's
you
hard.
imagine this part of the country just becoming as expensive to live as California?
I would hate it. It would. Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
Please no.
Housing's expensive as it is, especially over there.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah, and it didn't used to be that way though. That's what we're saying. Now in the Austin area, that's starting to see a big increase in those property values over there as compared to over here in Houston. You know what I mean? But we're still inching up that way as well.
Right.
Hopefully something subsides. Any chance we can take a quick break? Or y'all guys?
Yeah, I was going to actually suggest is we play some film footage.
Yes.
Do you have a preference? You want to play some Death Bike, or
Yeah,
do you
let's-
want to play some?
Yeah, let's do that. That video right there. I think of Death Bike.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, cool. All right, we'll take a quick break here. We'll put on this short film, Death Bike.
Yeah, a little trailer clip.
Is it about 5 minutes long?
About 5
Yeah,
minutes long.
this is the extended one.
Nice.
Most people haven't seen this one. I don't
Ooh,
think.
a little premiere here.
I kind of want to
talk
watch
about
it too.
things.
You got to be careful if you don't want to end up a ghost bike.
What's a ghost bike?
You've never seen those painted white bikes on the side of the road? They're memorials to cyclists who have been killed there.
What kind of people would run an innocent cyclist off the road?
Shit, hey y'all, check out this motherfucker. Dude, what the fuck? Get off the road, asshole!
See, that's why Coach kicked you off the fucking team, dog. You suck, man.
Man, fuck y'all. You know how much a styrofoam cup weighs? Like 4 grams tops. No, you factor in our forward momentum. Fucking Tom Brady ain't tagging that shit. What? No, it's fucking physics. Why don't you learn how to fucking drive?
What the fuck? What is this guy, a fucking cheetah? Now watch this shit.
10 points.
I swallowed my gum.
Beautiful kill.
Shut up, Johnny. Why the fuck did you do that?
Calm the fuck down, dog.
Dude, you know who that was? That was the cyclist.
You know, I've always thought of you as a son I never had.
I thought you had a son, coach.
Don't mention Johnny. I mean, the damn kid went off to college and now he's some kind of fairy.
People don't really say that kind of stuff anymore, coach.
Well, you know, I got me a new son.
Oh, come on, coach.
His name is Jesse. And I'm starting him next Friday.
That's homecoming game. But coach!
Are you trying to make me feel sorry for these little sluts? Look, if you can't do the time, don't do the crime.
What crimes? Doug, do you know why states like Texas teach abstinence only instead of actual sex education?
Why is that, James?
Because it doesn't work worth a shit. What better way to keep a woman in her place and perpetuate the patriarchy than to saddle her with a newborn at 17 years old?
What the fuck? I said stop.
What's your problem?
I said no to the hill so you go for the valley?
You're a slut.
My whole life, always been told.
You're fat! You're ugly! She'll never amount to anything!
It's gotta be that guy. Didn't you shoot that kid last year?
Like I shot him just a little bit.
No, it was like a full spread. You shot him several times.
It's perks of the job.
Well, thank God for that qualified immunity. Is there?
Didn't multiple eyewitnesses say that the guy was white?
We don't need no detective advice from some lady beat cop.
Yeah. Why don't you make Sorbino?
Cállate, Cusaleo. Beat this, Bambi.
Bino! My office. Now.
Tell me, Dr. Huxtable, what is your secret?
I'm the student whisperer. Office hours are later.
What's up, Huxtable?
Ophelia Burchett. Dwight, do I owe this honor?
Oh, Huxtable, you know my name.
Ah, but would a rose by any other name fail to smell as sweet?
You have such a way with words. Maybe we can find another use for that. Silver tongue of yours?
It's okay.
It's okay.
Hello, Andy. You get the bike fixed?
Haven't you done enough to me?
Me? Haven't I done enough? What about you?
What?
Then he saith unto Thomas,
Who's Thomas?
reach hither with thy finger, and behold, my hand.
Do not. Oh, God. Oh, God. Do not do that. Oh, my God.
Yes, because you have seen.
I ain't seen
now
shit.
you believe. Jesus wept. Christ in a fucking cartwheel.
All right, there it is. All right, cool. There's a little clip of Death Bike, Lo2No Productions. Oh, wow. You could see a stark difference between 10 years ago with Overdose and now.
Oh, thanks. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
And it's obviously for the better. It's like you said. Don't neglect the advances in technology and things of that nature to help make your film, the product, better.
Right.
Because if you stick to the old ways, you're kind of doomed in a sense.
Right.
To be stuck to there. And I can tell that this will be a treat to watch, no doubt. Very interested. It looked like you made a little cameo in there, dude. Are you in this film?
So this video was really just filmed for the fundraising campaign.
Okay.
The intention that it would all be refilmed.
Oh, okay, got it.
We wanted to basically show, like, we didn't want people to think, well, he made one movie 10 years ago and this is what it looked like, so this is what it's going to look like again.
Ah, gotcha.
So we needed to show, hey,
a teaser.
This is a teaser of what's
to come.
Is possible.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we've actually rewritten the script in a lot of different ways. So some of these scenes aren't even in the script anymore because they've been changed.
Yeah.
So, which happens because we've had script rewrites all the way up until this month, actually.
Okay.
So,
okay.
And that, for any number of reasons that can happen, but
sure.
We're really excited about. It's a really tight script, and it's definitely going to be a really cool movie with a lot more focused direction.
Yeah, no doubt. I can definitely tell that this one is like you elevated your game.
Yeah.
You stepped it up a little bit, no doubt.
It's not the first album; it's the sophomore album now.
Sure, sure. A little bit more seasoned. You kind of know what you're doing now a little bit more. You know what I'm saying?
No sophomore slump though, right?
No sophomore slump.
Yeah, not the slump, man. You definitely don't want the slump.
Well, maybe it was like that was the first one was like the demo. And this is like the first.
There we go. This is the one this is the one you're known for. There we go. Let's do that.
The breakthrough album.
Yeah. I like that.
Quick question though. So, are there any scenes that get removed completely, like ended up on the cutting room floor, from like either the first movie or obviously this one's not done yet, but does that happen with Overdose?
Overdose for sure. On Overdose, there's one scene in particular where when he's having that trip. I wanted to melt the entire city of Houston.
Yeah,
and that's pretty ambitious.
Yeah. But did you film that and then ended up cutting it?
No, we cut that before.
So was there any footage that was filmed but then ended up not being used?
Not making it.
Some of it, the dialogue got trimmed down quite a bit. Like the scene where Brian thinks he's going to get a threesome ended up like having some of that trimmed down, basically because it just wasn't moving the plot forward fast enough.
Oh, gotcha.
So it went from like maybe being 7 minutes long to 5.
Gotcha.
But nothing so significant that it would alter. In fact, I could probably have stood to trim it down even more. To be honest, I think that was also a little bit of first time outs, lesson learned type of thing. It's like, okay, this guy at the end's going really James Bond. Like he's really telling him everything. Maybe doesn't need to be all that long, And
I get you.
Looking back, I'm like, that could have probably been about 5 minutes shorter, which is a long time in movies.
No doubt.
But it's a first movie. We set out to do a movie. We really didn't. Whenever you're like doing an artistic endeavor, someone's like, well, what are you doing? You're not going to be famous. You're not going to be, whatever. They're just trying to knock you down, like,
sure.
Like this is the right way to do it. This is the wrong way to do it. And you clearly have done it the wrong way, and you're just like, okay, because you're analyzing trends. And I'm like, not trying to make a Carly Epson record, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to do my thing.
You're doing your thing, exactly.
Find your voice.
Find my voice and our voice. And our voice at the time, might have been a little long-winded. but it was ultimately something that, you know, I think it came across the way we wanted it to at the time that it did.
Right. I mentioned you earlier to you earlier too before we started doing the podcast was that the thing that stood out to me with Overdose is it really harkened to like Clerks.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it was the script, maybe it was the way the script was being delivered. You know, you could kind of hear that Kevin Smith-esque, you know, little dialogue going there, and I like that though, man. I really loved Clerks, man, and
That's
you know,
a great film.
and I think that was his first film. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So go figure. That was pretty cool.
Just kind of like, you know, I'm sure it drew from like personal opinions and things of that nature. You know, like I'm sure a lot of those you know, a lot of the script were thoughts that you had yourself and wanted to, you know, portray them through the characters. Basically, right?
Yeah, and so it was fun. Like you got to, if it was something, even if you had a bad thought, you just put it to a bad guy, and you're okay.
Yeah, right.
You know, like, good thoughts go to good guys, bad thoughts go to bad guys.
Dude, I never thought about that
like
though.
Jokes you thought of that were kind of off color.
Like, that's not.
Have what was his name? Snark.
Yeah, Snark do it.
Have Snark do that one. The Jankum and everything.
I like that though.
Different personalities.
No doubt, because we all have those, man. Come on, let's be real. If you were to really sit there and like analyze yourself, try to be self-aware, you'll recognize that you most definitely have that duality, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right. And what a fantastic way to express that.
Yeah.
You know, it's through various characters in a film, all coming from this mind of Dwight Yarotsky. You know what I mean? Like, how cool is that, dude?
Or even just like the musical opinions. You know, I could tell. Hey, okay, that was probably
the Green Day stuff.
Yeah, you know, the punk stuff.
A lot of people talk about the Green Day scene. Like, some people get offended by like they really are big Green Day fans.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, there was a lot of that. Like, you know, I had something. It was kind of funny. I think by the time Overdose came out, like most of my friends that had been friends with me for years, it's like, yeah, okay, he's talking about the Offspring again. Dwight, we've heard you say this speech,
right?
Like, verbatim.
Yeah.
For like 10 years.
Right. Yeah, but it hasn't been put on a platform yet for other people to hear. Now everyone can hear exactly. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, I joke a little bit about like, so my writing style, and you know, I want to be clear that Death Bike isn't just me, right? Like there was 4 writers on it, but you know, I had come up with the outline, the treatment, you know, but I've noticed that, and we're talking about this on social media. I think this is a great way to connect the two. People just word vomit on social media all over the place. Anytime they have a thought, and like they just throw it out there, and I got a hot take. And sometimes their hot takes are so bad, they're like, that was not at all like what happened. You know what I mean? Your hot take makes you look like an idiot a year later.
Right.
And so I took all my ideas on social media and just kind of put them in a vault. Instead of just doing a hot take social media post, this made me mad about something I witnessed or something that's going on, current events, I said, well, I'll write that down. And if I feel that way in a few years, maybe it'll make it into a script, maybe it won't, you know? And some of them did. And some of them got, you know, thrown away. And so I joke with people. Some people say to me, like, Dwight, you know, I've noticed the past few years, you've kind of slowed down on, like, you know, your commentary on the world on Facebook. I'm like, yeah. Watch Death Bike.
Yeah. It's perfect. It'll catch you up real quick.
Yeah.
2 hours later, you'll be like, okay, I got it.
Okay, I get you. Yeah.
Digest. It's all right there, you know, but doing it creatively.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a smart way. I think that'll deliver your point a lot better. And a lot more candidly than say a dang comment that's going to get forgot about 5 minutes later, anyways. Maybe,
right?
You know what I mean? So, and in this way, it's put down and it's concrete. It lives forever.
Immortalized.
Yeah, it's immortalized. It gets to live forever now. You know
and if you're creative enough about it too, it could become an iconic response instead of like a meme. You know, like, people are like, oh, this someone is making this comment. It's like, here's a clip that illustrates my response. You know what I mean? So, you know, it could be broken into chunks like that.
Cool.
And so, yeah, I really But having to explain some of the stuff out of context is difficult when you're making some comments like that.
Sure.
Like, 'cause you're like, oh, you're supposed to laugh at this person, not with this person. You know that, right? I can't tell you how to interpret it.
That's true too, though.
You can't.
That's what I was fitting to say too, though. That's the flip side of it, man. I mean, the other part of it now, you the artist now has to understand that people's going to interpret it how they want to interpret it, and let it fit them and in their way. And then therein lies the beauty, I think, of being able to receive art as well. You know what I'm saying? And because it may mean something completely different than what the artist was trying to do. Man, there was an awesome clip I had seen. It had to deal with this music producer, and he was talking about how this music producer worked with bands like System of a Down, right? And he had mentioned that, as a musician, as an artist, let's just say artist, right? I think you are not supposed to do art for your audience. Like, do not do that at all.
Right.
You need to be doing the art for you and strictly you, how the way you see it, feel it, hear it, interpret it, whatever.
Right.
That's how it's got to be portrayed. It can't be for your audience. If you're trying to, and in our case, I can relate a bit more with the music. If you're trying to make music for your audience,
what would they like?
Yeah.
How will they respond to this?
I think you're going about it completely wrong.
See, I think what you're saying is 100% pure artistry, and it's not what a lot of people actually think that are trying to have it for different motives. I had a friend, and hopefully he's not listening to this because, we just don't talk anymore. But he said, Dwight, I have this awesome script writing book. It'll tell you how to write the perfect script so you have more success in selling your script to Hollywood. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I wanted to tell him.
Right.
Because that's not what I'm trying to do.
Right.
I'm not trying to sell my script to Hollywood. I don't want to make a movie that is so distilled that everybody's like, I have no problem with this movie. It's so horribly inoffensive. It's so pure, dull, completely void of provocative.
Yeah. It's a Lifetime movie.
No controversy. That's not what I want at all.
Right.
Like, I want people to be like, oh, I freaking hate that movie and I'll tell you why. Or I love that movie and I'll tell you why.
Right.
And I want that conversation to happen. And I don't want the perfect script.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
And whenever he was telling me that, I said, part of me felt bad for him, but the other part of me felt we're not on the same page.
That's it.
That's really what it is. It's like musicians. Like, you keep bringing it back, and artistry is artistry, man. And
Sure.
like, when you're into music thing, like, dude, do you think that like people wanted to listen to whatever the hell the Yars was, my punk band in college in 2005? Nobody wanted to listen to like Clash-derived punk rock in 2005. That wasn't what was hip. That wasn't what was hot.
No.
But we wanted to make that music. We thought it was something that spoke to us. So we made that music and we did it. And to hell with them. You know what I mean? Like, we did it for ourselves, and if they didn't like it, it's more special when you find someone who likes you for doing something that is genuine to who you are than if you're just trying to
Sorry.
If you're just trying to make something for somebody.
No doubt. And I think you can, again, back to music, right? But I think you can recognize that in, let's say, radio rock, pop, you definitely know when they're doing the thing that they know is going to sell all the songs.
Yeah, writing the single.
Exactly. You know what I mean? They're checking all the boxes. They know that the mainstream audience is going to hear this and they're going to like it because it hits all these markers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So but what that song is to me very empty, very devoid of any sort of just like any like real substance. It's a cookie cutter song, dude. I want no parts of it. You mentioned a clean cut movie. That's a Lifetime movie. Right. I want no parts of it, dude. Yeah. You know what I mean? I want
there's nothing vulnerable.
Yeah,
like real artistry is vulnerable.
Yes.
You're bearing your soul.
Absolutely.
I read an interview. It just made me sad, man. It was like they were interviewing, and I'm not trying to speak ill of the dead because that sucks, but they were interviewing Linkin Park, and they asked them, well, how are your songs such hits? And so one of the responses they said was like, well, we intentionally keep the music vague so it can have a wider appeal. The lyrics vague. And I go, that is the least inspiring response I've ever heard to like, tell me how you're successful. And I thought, man, that's just not what I want to do.
Right.
You know, it's just not the approach that I want to take.
Right.
And, you know, I want that vulnerability and that, you know, that's how you're going to get someone who says, I relate to you.
Right.
You know, and that's really what a lot of it when you do talk about reaching an audience, you want that real connection, not the whole, I like that movie because everybody else did.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I get that.
I mean, you just get fewer, I guess, people that can relate to you specifically with, you know, because if you keep it vague, of course.
Right.
Kind of by definition, you know, you'll reach a wider audience just because everyone can interpret it to their own, you know. But if you're more specific and direct, you know, only fewer people can relate to you that specifically, I guess.
I know. Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to alienate, right? But like, maybe I'm just selfish. I want to have that connection too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be like, everybody liked this movie.
Right.
Then, well, they liked a movie that wasn't even something that spoke to me. You know what I mean? Like, so, like, it needs to have that kind of like back and forth for it to really be something that resonates, I think. So,
yeah. They liked it, you know, kind of like in the same way that, you know, they liked it to the same degree that they can relate to it, basically.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, they kind of liked it, you know, because they can kind of relate to it. But you want people that like super like because they super relate to it.
Yeah, exactly.
You want that like super strong connection.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. I feel that too. I think like even with our own band, me and Thomas's own band, we didn't have many fans. We had friends, you know, friends that were fans.
Oh, okay.
But we did have one specific, you know, like super fan.
I know what you're talking about.
And she loved our music, super related to it. Even got it tattooed on her.
Right.
Wow.
So I was just like, shout out to Shelly.
Wow.
Woo.
No doubt. Shelley Strickland.
But
We'll be selling Death Bike design for tattoos.
But you know, it's just like, you know, we reached one person that strongly. I think that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
We didn't like, you know, reach thousands of people, but I mean, you know,
made that connection.
Yeah, we made one connection.
You know what? That's
maybe more.
There's someone I know. There's someone I know who you said Death Bike tattoo. There's someone I know who probably would get that. She has a lot of tattoos, and they're like horror related.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you got some imagery,
you got Death Bike merch. I see.
Yeah, you got the shirt.
Yeah,
can you open that up? Let's see what we got.
Mm-hmm. Like Ricky Ortiz did this design.
Okay,
nice.
I got a few in the car.
Cool.
You know?
I'm not familiar with Ricky Ortiz. Who is he?
He's a Houston artist.
Okay.
And he's also he's been in some movies as well. He does makeup artistry and also some obviously like the illustrative.
Yeah,
stuff.
the illustrative stuff. Yeah,
So,
no doubt.
Just a cool guy. I mean, Houston local.
Cool.
So you said you have a few of those?
Yeah. I got some in the car if y'all want some.
I would love to wear one.
Nice.
Yeah, dude, we'll rep it out, man, for sure.
Are they available for like purchase or anything?
Yeah, we have available for purchase on our Indiegogo website as well.
Indiegogo?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Is there a link to Indiegogo on Linktree?
There should be, and I think it's linktree.com/deathbikemovie.
Yeah.
Linktree.com/deathbikemovie. We're going to try this again and see if it works.
Yeah.
I don't know if we got it to work the first time. Excuse me.
Yeah, I think. It's the movie at the end. Yeah.
When are we slated to see Death Bike?
So we're gonna film in spring break. Is when we're gonna film a lot of it.
Okay.
And so we got about 9 days that we're looking at, all for like basically the weekend and spring break, which is a pretty intense schedule.
Whoa.
And then we'll knock out, I think, about 35 to 40% of the movie.
Oh, okay.
Then.
Okay. Sorry. I was thinking you're going to do the whole movie in 9 days? Okay,
no.
that's why my face was doing what it was doing.
It's going to be about, 30. Is it not coming up?
That was it, wasn't it?
No, it should be. I wonder. Let me double check my phone here.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. We're just for our viewers, if you can or can't see, I'm not sure, but we're over here on our monitor trying to pull up that Linktree website so that you guys can get more information on Death Bike. And of course, like we mentioned before, we'll be sure to post all those links in the show notes.
Just put a slash between movie and Death Bike.
It says it doesn't exist. Maybe my Linktree is no longer around.
Oh no. Oh no!
Does that happen? Does Linktree take things down?
Yeah, man. I don't know, dude. You got me.
That's really wild.
We got a couple of people chiming in on the chat.
Okay, yeah. Let's address that.
Dr. Dittman here.
Nice.
Excellent video quality on the trailer. I think Amanda Burke is chiming in with a smiley face and a
all right
peeping eyes. You know.
Okay, she be looking. She be peeping.
Lane also asks. He goes, ask DJ, what's the hardest part of production, and how do you deal with the challenges of directing?
Oh yeah,
Dr. Dittman.
Great question. For me, the hardest part about production is just having the time management and the schedule. You have to really be. We used to say it's like the more time you spend in pre-production, the less time you spend in production, which is important because that's when all the money goes out the window, because you're paying people to be on set and you're paying for the location a lot of times. And if you're like, okay, we ran over, we need to do it another day. Ooh. And so, or someone's only got a small window that they're available.
Right.
So my producer, Jason W. Chang, he's been really helpful in ironing out a schedule that is actually something that we can accomplish.
Yeah.
And as far as like dealing with people on set, I think the biggest thing that I would say is more of like advice or how to is just don't be the only person that people have to report to. Make sure there's other people there to accommodate, because there's other things that are going on that are like just basic needs. Like, hey, if Cody was my assistant director, hey dude, we're getting hungry. When's the break? Because like, and I as the director might be busy trying to do a scene or something. Mm-hmm. They don't want to have to interrupt. So having those people in place to be a resource for people, really is helpful. And just don't try to do it all alone. You need that collaboration, ideally, to really pull it off. I do have it down as Linktree/Death but I'm going to see this QR code and see why it isn't working.
Okay. Oh, very interesting points there, though. I mean, you always see at the end of the credits, there's like 1 million people associated with the film, and obviously they have. Okay, what do we have here?
Yeah, maybe it's just link.
Okay, so check this out. Hey, check this out, dude. The Linktree, Mikey, it's going to be.
I see it.
Do you?
I'm pulling it up on that post you made from your website.
Okay.
All right.
There's a dot between the R and the double E, and then there's a /deathbike. So we're doing like linktree.com/deathbike movie.
I thought they both worked.
I'm surprised we didn't put http // www.
You did Linktree.
Linktree.
Yeah.
Linked. Oh, he put a U in there?
No, he put an M.
Wow, whatever. This is good though. I like it. Oh, cool. This is cool. I like it. Your official Facebook group.
Yeah, we do a pretty good job of keeping the Facebook group up
to date. Man, you got to keep people excited, man. Keep people, buzzing about it, man. That's kind of why I was asking when we're thinking this movie might be slated to be released. So obviously you're going to be filming in the spring break time frame to do at least the first 35 to 40% of the movie,
right?
And then the rest of it's going to take place throughout the rest of the year, I imagine.
Yeah, we have right now some of the stuff is like the scenes are pretty ambitious, so those scenes where you need to have a little bit more time in pre-production to prepare for, whether that's like through props or through blood. That's a lot of blood. A lot of blood.
Good.
A lot of blood.
Good. I mean, you're staying true to the genre, man. We need the bloods.
Yeah.
Do you have like a GoFundMe or anything that you're still working on, or?
So the Indiegogo could still collect funds. It's it's in what's called in demand. So I think we have $11,880 so far.
Oh, nice.
But anybody wants to help out, there's still some pretty cool perks available. Like one of the perks that is really neat is killed in the movie. Yeah. So we still have that. We have one left, and there will not be another one. And that
How much do you have to pay for that?
$497. But the caveat to that is you have to be willing to look like Biker Glenn from the Village People.
Biker Glenn. Oh, so
Yeah,
this is a male. This is a male cast. Then?
Yeah, and it's already been. It's written. It's set. I mean, like it's gonna. That's the scene.
Yeah.
And there's a bit of a Village People parody throughout the scene.
Okay.
And so Biker Glenn is who you need to look like.
I got you. Yeah. So these people. This is the cast.
Yeah. So these are the people that are cast for the movie right now.
Okay.
And you can see, lots of great
Trevor
talented
Safi,
people. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Some of these faces probably look pretty familiar since
from Overdose.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Does it have like a, I don't know, like a death race vibe to it?
Yeah, so there's a scene where like they're talking like 10 points for running off to somebody, and like some people have said that it kind of reminds them of Toxic Avenger a little bit when they're trying to run over that kid, and then or Death Race, 2000 or whatever it was called. Yeah. With Frankenstein or whatever. Yeah. And so, there's definitely a lot of like, I would say little homages to that or little references to it. I think that most people who have read the script kind of feel like it has probably a Nightmare on Elm Street type of vibe, even though it's not related bicycle wise, but like just the way that the teenage characters act and all that stuff, and the smart aleck, things that they do. So
you can actually really order the movie right now as a digital copy.
Yeah, it's a pre-order. So you can order the movie as a pre-order, and then when it is released, it will give you a digital download or a Blu-ray or a DVD. There's any number of options there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the shirt you're wearing?
Yep.
Right there?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, and did I see a special thanks up there?
I think so.
When you order the digital copy,
yep.
Do you get a special thanks like in the credits?
Yeah, so you get a special thanks on the IMDb page and in the movie credits.
Nice.
So and if you
that's worth it.
Yeah, if you
see your name in print.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah,
$27, man.
Yeah,
put that shit in my hand. Hey, so can we scroll down for a second? So who's this? I'm sorry. On the other deal, who are these people here?
Well, I could any number of them. So Ted Ferguson, he's had a lot of bigger roles.
Yeah, I recognize his face.
Yeah,
he's going to be in this film. Is that what this is?
He plays police chief.
Okay.
In our movie, the police chief.
Yeah.
He's a very great actor, real pro, and we're really excited to have him on set.
Yeah.
They have Jessa Flux. She's actually done a lot of work with like trauma films, Curse of the Werewolf being one of them.
Okay.
Lloyd Kaufman and all that stuff. Who produced The Toxic Avenger and all that.
Okay.
And then a lot of other horror movies as well. And then we got Angel Nicole Bradford. She's also done a lot of great movies in the horror movies throughout the country. She's coming in from the East Coast.
Okay.
And then we got Mel Heflin, again, another really talented out-of-state actress that's coming in to help us out.
And so I imagine when you have, these to me, these guys here sound like some heavy hitters, right? So when you have these guys come in, it makes sense. You want to make sure you have everything squared away to accommodate them and
100%.
and make sure everything that their time is that they've.
There's
a lot of their time for you.
Exactly. Valued on set. It's like we're bringing them in from out of state. We need to make sure that I guess if you're really talking about like fears that I may have, is I think the biggest fear with anyone's on any independent film is just what if someone doesn't show up?
Sure.
And you're like, you have everybody else there, but that key person isn't there. And especially when you have someone that's out of state, it's a scary thing. So it's the process of actually auditioning, talking. It goes way beyond just you did the best part or the best job at reading for a part. It's like, hey, I trust you. You're here. You're part of this. I believe that you're going to be on set. You know what I mean? Like,
you're not going to flake.
You're not going to flake.
That kind of goes back to Dr. Dittman's question too, like challenges that you're going to face as a director and an independent filmmaker. That's going to be one of them is managing actors, I guess, obviously.
So this one, we have a scene that we're filming there's a cafeteria scene in a school, and it's going to have like 40 extras.
Oh, wow.
And that one makes me nervous.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of people that need a show.
Yeah, no
And,
doubt.
You got to have all 40?
Huh?
You have to have all 40?
Yeah, I mean, we might be able to get away with a range. Like, if we dropped to 30, maybe we could still make it work. But
Sure, sure.
You know, we could maybe accommodate 50 if we get really lucky. But you can't. We won't be able to do it like at like 10. You know,
exactly.
We're gonna need at least and there's different ways you can angle and cheat the shots to make it work. But ideally, 30 to 40 actors. And one of the things that our producer has done that I thought was really clever is he partnered with a theater teacher, a high school theater teacher, and said, "We're filming over spring break. You want these? You want your kids? Any of your kids want to, come as a class and do a little bit of acting for like the background actors for the,
extra credit?"
Yeah, and I'm like,
what was the response? What was the response?
He said, yeah.
Oh, sweet.
So that's hopefully that'll pan out.
Yeah,
and that's really one of the things that we'll have. So I mean, there's like. It's all about like trying to think outside the box too, and trying to get that. Like we're talking about maybe getting like a minor league football team to play the background actors for the football team, just because that's very expensive to build a football team.
The uniforms already.
Yeah, uniforms and everything. So there's a lot of like, how can we do this, and what are alternative ways that we could do it that aren't going to like blow the budget, but also are going to get people happily involved. Because if you really think about it, it's a really cool thing to say. I was in that scene, that's really neat, So
I would think so.
Yeah, so a lot of people get excited about it, and we want it to be a very positive and fun environment for them to be on set.
Yeah,
that's really important to me. Like, if you're not having fun on set, that's a problem.
Yeah,
because it should be fun. It's a horror comedy.
Yeah.
So.
Right on, yeah. No, and of course, there's work that needs to be done, but like make it enjoyable.
Right.
If it's enjoyable, then it doesn't feel like work.
Exactly. Yeah.
That makes sense. Cool.
So back to your previous movie, Overdose, right? By the way, I really like the ending. I'm not going to spoil it.
Okay.
But I just thought that was really cool. Like I wasn't expecting it to go that way, per se.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you're referring to. Yeah. Thanks for not spoiling.
Yeah, no, definitely. But definitely, if you haven't seen it, definitely watch it. It is available on YouTube. Mikey J, you can just pull it up.
Yeah,
we'll put it in the
quick.
description and everything, like so people can just watch it. It's on what other platforms is it on?
I believe it's on
Tubi?
Plex and Tubi.
Tubi and Plex. Yeah, so I mean, you can watch it right now.
Wait, so if you have Tubi like on your smart TV, you can just type this in and boom, it'll pop right up.
Right.
Boom,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, very nice.
I believe in Plex it's HD, and I think the other ones might be standard def, but
so. There should be a clip also, maybe to the left of that one, where it's just like a trailer. Yeah, let's play that trailer. Like,
that's a minute,
just so people can see what Overdose is all about.
Okay, so this is the first feature film of Dwight Yarotsky. It's Overdose: Death of a Punk Rocker. Click it. Not suitable for work, by the way.
Yeah.
Of an apparent heroin overdose.
I'm gonna find out what really happened to him.
You sell strings at a guitar store, dude. You're not fucking Columbo.
A shithead, drunk ass punk.
I think I can pull off Columbo. Just one more thing. I don't think he overdosed. I'm not here to buy anything. I'm here to talk about Brad.
What is it with you? Good evening, sir. How can we assist you?
I have reason to believe that Brad Stanley was murdered. It wasn't an overdose.
What really happened to Brad is he OD'd. Or can't you read the fucking newspaper?
Man, Brad OD'd. Simple as that.
Think he OD'd?
I think he wanted to join the elite group known as the 27 Club, and his overdose was the vehicle that took him there.
All right. What else was a load of shit?
What?
Brian thinks somebody killed Brad.
I'm just saying if I did, I would be making the world a better, greener place.
Stanley is survived by his wife, Courtney.
I think I pulled off the whole grieving widow thing pretty well.
You know what Brad did? He kept all the fucking money to himself and didn't give me shit.
I've been doing a little investigating myself. I've come to the conclusion that our mutual friend Snarf is looking mighty suspicious.
Promethazine, codeine. Fuck! I have the car!
I'm gonna fucking kill him. Hold on.
Wait, no. Listen to me, little shit. You're lucky they don't kill you right here.
I'm giving you the chance at redemption. And you're sitting there playing fucking Sherlock Holmes.
You bet your ass I'm gonna do whatever it takes to exonerate his reputation and bring those who did this
to fucking justice.
Who paid for this fucking funeral? Hot Topic?
Heck yeah.
The enema bag fight. Not gonna lie, that one's still funny to me.
What?
the fight with the enema bag?
Oh, goodness. The vodka enema.
Yeah. Most of them, oh well, they've come a long way in the past 10 years, but the enema bag fight's still pretty funny.
Yeah.
I noticed the beginning of the film, you gave out a pretty touching tribute to Domingo Lozano. Is that his name? And I saw, we were talking before the cast, and I saw the characters.
The Korean cowboy.
The Korean cowboy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, again, my interactions with him were very limited, and I only knew him by proxy. Cody would tell me that there was a well-dressed gentleman who would frequent Guitar Center quite a bit and would take you guys out to the movies on occasion.
Yeah. 3-piece suit all the time.
3-piece suit all the time. And I remember that. And I was sad to learn whenever I watched your film that he had passed. Right. But I guess your film did what it was supposed to do, or at least that little part of the film that where you paid homage to him. It was meant to keep his memory alive. So I thought that was a really touching tribute. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was tragic, of course, but we tried to keep him, like you said, pay homage to him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you wrote a part for him specifically.
Right.
It was that Korean cowboy.
The Korean cowboy,
Yeah. What did you say that he was kind of like, you told him that he had the part, and so he was.
He's like, well, what's my motivation? Yeah. And I go, your motivation? I wrote you the part. You just be yourself.
Yeah, man.
I gotta get in the character. Like, no, you are the character.
You are the character, man. That's awesome.
I mean, I'll say this too, and I think you all haven't known him, probably would appreciate this. I just really, really wanted to get him to wear something other than that 3-piece suit.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna.
What do you look like in regular clothes?
Yeah, like nah, he won't do it. A cowboy hat and a bolo tie.
Yeah.
I might be able to get this.
Get that. That's as far as you'll go with it. Yeah. He would have done that, I imagine.
Yeah, because he's still dressing up.
It's still dressy. It's still very dressy.
Yeah. So
he would always say he's the second fastest guitar player in Houston.
Okay, who was the first?
Rusty Cooley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he could shred it. Was it like 200 and
he's measuring
something?
it. Yeah, that's right. It is weird.
BPM,
the data.
And could he? Was he?
Yeah.
Y'all listen to him play?
He could shred.
Symphonic death metal is what he called it.
Is what he called it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, very Trans-Siberian Orchestra, like epic, like.
Did he ever record anything? I'm curious.
Well,
do y'all know?
I used to film the recitals he did. So he had like a lot of students that would like play, and they were obviously using the techniques that he taught them.
Yeah. Do you have any of that footage?
I'm sure I have it somewhere. Yeah. I would have to dig it up somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a long time ago, man.
Yeah, he could shred, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Do the sweet picking. And
Right.
Yeah.
How'd it go?
Wings roast out.
Oh, shit. I'm sure it sounded better than that. Well, cheers to Domingo, man.
Shout out
rest
to
in
Domingo.
peace. Rest in peace, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Another of the many characters you'd find at Guitar Center, like Venom.
Venom.
Yeah, Mucho Metal. Shout out to Mucho Metal. Even Daniel Turvey. He's a long-standing staple of Guitar Center.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. Did he have a part in any of the film or the music or anything?
He's in the funeral scene. He's got his hair in front of his face.
Oh, does he? Yeah.
I didn't spot him.
Yeah. I think he was probably purposely wanting to be incognito. Yeah.
Well, with dreads though, because
or did he have regular hair at the time?
I think he did have. Did he have regular?
He goes back and forth. Sometimes
Yeah.
he cuts his dreads and then throws them out. And
He kind of looked like Cousin It in the movie.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun though.
Good.
Yeah.
Good deal, man.
Well, what else we got? Oh, I mean, speaking of your, I guess your past, your band, the Yars.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you want to play any of the music from back in the day? Like, do you have any of the Yars music for? I mean, we don't have to play it, but we can post a link to it if you.
Yeah, I could. It's on Spotify. I'd have to find it.
Oh wait, you got it. It's on Spotify.
Yeah, it's on Spotify.
Oh, okay, cool. And it's
Yeah.
called the Yars.
Yeah, I think that when I tried to search it, it didn't come up immediately. I had to type in the Yars and the album name, which is Bittersweet.
Bittersweet.
Yeah. So if I type in the Yars Bittersweet, it's on Spotify.
It would come up on Spotify. And the Yars was your punk rock band from 05, basically.
Yep.
That we were talking about earlier. Clash derived.
Yeah, a little Clash,
inspired.
a little Dead Kennedys.
Yeah.
A little bit like someone said the music sounded like 90s punk, but the vocals sound like 80s punk.
Okay.
So yeah.
And what did you do in the band?
I sang and played guitar.
Sang and played guitar.
Yeah, Bittersweet's probably the one to play if you.
There
really
it is.
wanted
The
to.
second one.
Yeah.
You see it? Yeah. Let's play that real quick. I do want to hear it. You have to sign up now.
Oh man! I don't actually have a free Spotify account.
You could probably, you know what? If you want, you could probably find it on YouTube as well.
Okay. Yeah. Good old YouTube.
Yeah. I don't do Spotify for whatever reason it is. I just gravitated towards Apple Music and YouTube and shit.
Thank you.
Yeah. Same. I mean, I have a Spotify, and I want to say there's a SoundCloud. I went ahead and got that subscription mostly because you can.
Wait, it's not free?
Yeah, you can get a free version, but I chose to pay the $10 a month because then I was able to import some music over and use it on those. Remember those turntables you sold me a few months ago, last year sometime, and I'm able to pull from that library
Okay,
and then
so you can use it for
use it for that exactly.
Okay,
that's why I
kinda
did the SoundCloud thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The Yars Bittersweet Symphony. What? There it is. And that's the whole album.
Yeah, this is the song.
This is the song. Okay, cool. All right, well, shut up. Here we go.
You make me wanna shoot myself. You make me wanna lose myself. You make me wanna be somebody else. Nothing's ever enough for you or anybody else. I feel good to know that you no longer wanna hang around me. I feel good to know that I'm abundant free. I'm finally free. I feel good to know that you no longer wanna be around me. I feel good to know that I'm abundant free. I'm finally free. I call you on the phone, but there's no one home. Call you on the phone 'cause I'm so alone. Never seen no answer, you do, you leave me on. Something real about you, so now I'm moving on. I feel good to know that you no longer wanna hang around me. I feel good to know that I'm abundant free, I'm finally free. I feel good to know that you no longer wanna be around me. I feel good to know that I'm abundant free, I'm finally free.
Let's go, dude. Yeah, man, I'm digging it.
Cool.
Hey, dude. Yeah, no, straight up, man. And that was that y'all's only recording, like only album that y'all did?
Yeah, that's the only album. Yeah, we had. I mean, we had done some demos before that
Sure.
and all that, but like that was the the best recording that we did.
Nice.
Yeah, and It's interesting to, like I said before, going back and listening to this stuff, or going back and watching your stuff. You're like, well, if I sang it now, I wouldn't sing it in such a high register, or all that kind of stuff. But it's still pretty good.
It's good.
It still sounded good. I still liked it for what it was.
Yeah.
It's like some cool punk rock type of stuff. But they had a cool program at a Guitar Center back in the day where I was able to sell the album while I was working there. And that was really neat. So I sold a lot of albums when I was working at Guitar Center. And
right on.
That's a lot of people heard the Yars that were local, and it was fun.
Yeah, no, that is fun, man. And I mean, I'm sure y'all played live.
Yeah, we played. It was all in Kent, Ohio. So funny enough, we sold a lot of albums in Houston, but we never played.
Y'all never played Houston.
No,
okay, so no wonder. See, this whole time I'm thinking you are Houston.
Nah, it was all in it was like Akron area, like near which is near Cleveland, and
yeah.
It was that was what the unfortunate thing was. We actually pretty much recorded that album at the end of the Yars. So it was like a souvenir.
Sure.
But
at least it captured y'all's time.
Yeah, exactly.
Captured y'all's efforts.
Yeah, so that's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. And so y'all play. So what was y'all's live shows like? That's what I was trying to get at.
Sometimes they were, like you were saying before, is the other bands and their girlfriends.
Right.
Sometimes it was that.
Right. Yeah.
Other times it was more people, depending on the Really, when we got outside of the college town that we played, it was a lot harder to get people to come out because we played so often in that little town that they were like, "We'll just wait until you're back in town." So if we went up to Cleveland and played, they'd be like, "Why would we go?
We're not going to Cleveland.
No, we'll just wait until you're back in town."
Yeah, I hear you.
And so, but we had a lot of fun. We used to play with some other punk bands, but then sometimes they'd put us up some metal bands, and sometimes they one time they put us at a glam rock or glam metal band. That was weird. yeah. And I actually thought that was a weird matchup. Like they looked like they were trying to be like Motley Crue or something. And when I asked one of them where they were, so where y'all from? The guy's like, Hollywood, California.
I go, oh my god, dude, nice, very nice. Okay, I regret this immediately. No doubt. Oh fuck, yeah, but that's cool though. Okay, so was there any one show that kind of stood out to you though? Because like, look, listen, the reason I'm saying this because I'm listening to this on the song we just heard, Bittersweet. Like I'm hearing it, it sounds high energy. Yeah. So like I'm imagining a live show and everyone just kind of, you know what I mean, punk rock dancing. You know what I mean, getting down. So was there ever like a show that y'all played where there was just the right amount of college kids in the college town and it was just a good time, it was a good vibe, everyone just rocking out?
There was one show that, and we always joked about this even though it just happened to be that they, I think, weren't rated for it, but we were like, we brought the house down because like all the lights went out and the electricity went out.
Oh yeah.
So, like about 3/4 through the set, we're like, I guess we're done.
No one could restore the electricity.
No, dang. So the entire electricity in the club went out. And, it was just a really memorable, time.
Well,
but it was more like the pains that you go through to promote promote a show and all that stuff. We had this big banner on campus that like went this very windy tunnel basically, and we'd hook these banner up and we did all DIY. We painted it by hand and had this huge thing, and it would get all wrapped up, and we'd go up there and we're scaling the walls, putting it back up together, and it was like we're just doing dumb things as kids, like trying to make sure that people knew that we were there.
We're playing. We're gonna, dude. And so y'all were college rock then, is what I'm.
Yeah,
basically
college.
Yeah, dude, that's so cool, dude. That really is cool to me, and especially at that time, the early 2000s. Yeah. To me, it's like you're right after the 90s,
right?
You know what I mean? But it's still got that influence, no doubt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And of course, you're playing a genre like punk. I mean, punk originated in the 60s, right?
No. 70s.
70s. Okay. Hey, look, just right there, SLC Punk, dude. I love that film.
It's a great movie.
Great freaking movie, man.
I recently rewatched it, like probably about a month or two ago. I'm like, and I hadn't seen it in like about 15 years. And I'm like, this is still really good.
Yeah, it's got some good characters in it, man. I mean, Matthew Lillard, good actors, and then of course Jason Segel. He was a little unknown back then. That was like his third film. If you look at his IMDb roster.
Oh yeah, I remember he was like the geeky guy.
He's the geeky guy, but he would whoop your ass.
Yeah, he's like a tough geek. Yeah.
But Jason Segel, you know Jason Segel. He's I Love You Man. He's an I Love You Man.
Oh,
he's the dude who plays next to Paul Rudd.
How I Met Your Mother.
He's in How I Met Your Mother. Yeah, that dude. He's in SLC Punk. SLC Punk was a kick-ass movie. I remember watching it around the time that it came out too.
Devin Saba.
Huh?
Devin Saba was in it.
Dude, you got me. I'm sorry. Yeah.
He was in Final Destination.
Okay. Yeah, man. I just remembered Matthew Lillard and Jason Segel and all that. It was a really good movie. I like it.
Yeah.
Good one.
I see The Widow Jane.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Oh, dude, it's already gone. You need some more?
Sorry.
Nah, man, you might need some more.
Yeah, no. I think
you're good. Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to. It's.
I hear you. What is it now?
Widow Jane. Decadence is the name of the bourbon.
Oh, is it Decadence? Name of the bourbon? Is this one that Christine was able to get a hold of?
Yeah, it's the wife. So I kind of finish off the last of the bottle.
Sure.
Yeah. But she's got a backup. She always keeps some.
No, dude. So I don't know.
Reserve.
Cody, his wife, she is a manager at a restaurant, right? And she has access to these bourbons and these spirits, right? And she gets exclusive access in some regards, because usually they have to taste them. I think they have to taste them in order to sell them.
Sure.
Whatever the case may be.
Well, they're allocated to, so only certain
it's hard to get a
places
hold of them,
can sell them, and you can only buy them at certain locations, certain quantities, and things like that.
Yeah. So I don't know if she intended to be any sort of connoisseur of bourbons, but it just kind of naturally happens. I think when you're in that kind of job.
Because of the tastings. Yeah, you're forced to drink basically. What do you think of this? No, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? By the fifth one, you're like, oh,
they're all great.
It's good. I like it.
Some of that allocated bourbon is like impossible to get a hold of.
Yeah.
I really like that Henry McKenna 10-year bottled and bond.
Okay.
It's really good.
She'd probably know exactly.
She would know.
We were sitting you always see it at bars, or not always, but you can see it at a bar. But I've never seen a person own it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's always like. And they always have like this much left on the bar. Like we have a little bit left.
That'll be $50.
God, like that's as much as the bottle.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah,
so. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, bud, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't have much else, that I think I could talk to you about. I mean, Cody, do you have?
I mean, we covered pretty much, everything I wanted to cover. I mean, our time at Guitar Center, although brief, that's where we met. You were there for 2 years, right?
Yeah, 2 years. Yeah.
2 years. I was there for way too long. But yeah, I mean, I definitely, appreciate you, taking the time. I mean, we haven't seen each other since what?
I keep
11?
I keep telling you we need to go skydiving or something.
Yeah.
But then I'm always like.
Yeah.
And I never do. One of these days, that I just don't.
I'm down. I'm always down to skydive.
Hey, that could be the next movie, Death Dive.
See, don't say that.
Oh, yeah, right. Now he's never gonna go.
No, if you go to skydiving, right? They're always. I mean, I've seen videos and people have told me they're always so amped. They have to be, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're like, yes, we're gonna do this because you have to do a tandem dive. Especially the first, until you're,
licensed.
Yeah. And so it's like. But can you imagine? You go there like, how's it going? Oh God, life made me the doghouse. Life just sucks, man. Like, you don't want to tandem talk about
No. That guy, that guy's not strapping on to me. No.
Another person.
The dude who's over there just like bebopping around with all of his fucking,
I love life.
That guy. That's the dude. That's the dude we need. He's got flair. There you go. The guy with flair. Bring him here.
What if they do that on purpose just to miss those people? Just like, oh God, my wife just left me. I just, what's the point anymore?
Hell no, dude.
We call this package.
Yeah, no shit. The Death Dive. I love it, man.
It's a one-way ticket, guys.
Yeah, one-way ticket. Exactly. I love it. 50% off. Yeah, no shit. Well, Dwight, like I said, honestly, before we close out, are there any lasting thoughts or anything that you would like to leave us with anything that we spoke about?
Yeah, no, this has been really great catching up with Cody for sure, and meeting you and talking to you. And I really appreciate y'all having me on here. We're really excited about Death Bike. I guess the last thought I'd like to leave is that if you want to get involved with Death Bike, follow us on via that link tree that we were telling you about. We'll need extras. We'll need people to help out to make the movie happen. Sure. If nothing else, just spread the word and let people know that Death Bike's coming, and it's going to be a one bloody ride. And we're really all very excited to bring this awesome movie to life and really elevate Houston film community to the level that we aim to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll definitely be supporting Death Bike and sharing all the socials, and maybe we can have you back on after for some kind of I don't know, screening, but definitely some type of promotion,
a debrief.
Yeah, debrief.
Sure.
Yeah,
Why not?
We got another question. What would you give any youngster trying to get into the film industry? What advice would you give them getting into something as tedious as producing, directing? Just getting into it, really.
Yeah. So, are they Houston local? Did they say it for Houston?
It's just general, I think.
In general, I whether it's Houston or not, I guess I'll keep it in that. The general level is just to find the community. In Houston, we have a really great thing called the Houston Film Meetup Group, and Brian Delaney runs that, who's like one of the coolest people I've met, and you go there and there's just so many people that want to make art. They want to collaborate. They want to do, and a lot of them are in the same boat as the person who asked that question. They just don't know how.
Right.
And or they want to know a better way. But finding those people and connecting with those people and knowing that you don't have to do it alone. Remember, filmmaking is the most collaborative art I think there is. If you look at the movie credits, there's 10, almost 10 minutes of different names on there.
Absolutely.
If you try to do it alone, you're going to spin yourself out. And I mean, when we did Overdose, I did do a lot. I wore a lot of hats, and it's nice to have a diverse skill set. It really is. But at the end of the day, you got to realize that it's not just your film. Mm-hmm. It's everybody else who's working on that film, it's their film too.
Yep.
And when you have that kind of mindset that we're all here to make an awesome film, you just got to find the right people. So meet up. Go to meetups.
Got it.
Find the people.
And that's Houston Film Meetup?
Houston Film Meetup is an amazing group.
Got it.
It takes place at Bad Astronaut Brewery the second Tuesday of every month.
Every second Tuesday of every month at Bad Astronaut Brewing is going to be the Houston Film Meetup.
Yeah, and it's like 7 p.m. or something. But
nice.
Great place.
Cool.
And a great group of people. So
Good.
We've met a ton of awesome people there. So
yeah. And then I guess the other follow up to that person's question, if you were listening to what Dwight, the advice that he got was just do it. That's what it sounds like.
Do it. Yeah.
Do it. Film it.
Oh yeah. I guess the other side of it. Just seriously, do not worry if it's going to... I mean, I'm telling you right now, I love that you guys let me show this stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to lie. It was a little harder to watch Overdose this many years later. And that's not because the people that did Overdose did an amazing job. But me, I'm I could have done better. And that's okay. But know that the first time out, it doesn't have to be perfect, and just make the best movie that you can with what you have, and express yourself.
There it is.
Mm-hmm.
Very
nice.
Cool. Well, thanks for coming and expressing yourself, and
no problem.
Letting us showcase your talented work.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it.
Right on.
All right. We'll see you all next time.
All right.
Mikey J. Cue the outro. Hey guys, thanks for watching another episode of Talk of All Trades. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, be sure to hit that like button, share, subscribe, and turn on notifications. That way you don't miss an episode.
And if you would like to be on the podcast, or if you know anyone who would like to be on the podcast to talk about their trade, please feel free to reach out to us at talkofalltradespodcast@gmail.com. Again, hit us up, talkofalltradespodcast@gmail.com. Hope to hear from you.
See you next time.